Welcome to Epic Geek Out, the only show on the internet where Neo decides to take the blue pill. I'm your host, Rob.
And I'm your host, Chad, and today we're talking about the Wachowski siblings. New film, Cloud Atlas.
And on Thursday, we have kind of a special geek event that we did over the weekend. We're going to be showing some footage and our take on the Run for Your Lives 5K zombie obstacle course.
I'm still in pain.
Yes, it hurts.
As always, you can follow us on Twitter at Epic Geek Out. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. You get all the new episodes.
You can like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Epic Geek Out. And then also check out, what else am I supposed to say?
I'm forgetting. You said Facebook?
I did say Facebook. Twitter?
Website,
there it is. www.epicgeekout.com. But let's get into our reaction of Cloud Atlas. So Cloud Atlas, kind of a hard movie to explain, but it stars Tom Hanks, Halle Berry, Jim Broadbent, a ton of other people. It is the story about everything. I think it's kind of how Chad was describing it to people. It has kind of a lot of different vignettes throughout the movie. Follows the actors and actresses play different characters, different sexes, different everythings throughout the movie. It goes, back in the past, to the future, to the far future. Follows these different people who, I guess, basing kind of on karma that, if what you've done in past lives affect the life that you're living now. Dense movie, let me first say, 3 hours or so long. Chad, what did you think of Cloud Atlas?
Well, it's also based on a novel, I think we should mention too,
Mm-hmm.
which we didn't read, neither of us read, but I would love to now, because the novel's a little bit different, whereas it follows a story, goes from the past, that story, this story, to the future, and then backwards. But this jumbles them all together. And I was really looking forward to it. I love Wachowski's stuff that they do. V for Vendetta. I like Speed Racer a lot. Matrix 1 and 3, maybe not 2. And just they're very philosophical movies that speak to, except Speed Racer. But yeah, that speak to a lot of different concepts in philosophy, which I'm a fan of different philosophers like Descartes and stuff that Matrix kind of is based on. But yeah, and this looked like an epic movie for sure by the trailers and everything. Wasn't sure what to expect. I liked it a lot. It didn't meet my expectations, but I had astronomical expectations. But I feel like I liked it more than a lot of people probably will like it. Rob said it's very dense. It's 3 hours of a lot of crap going on. And I feel like if I saw it again, I'd pick up on things. If I saw it a third time, I'd pick up on even more things. So it really is a movie about everything throughout time, history. It's crazy. I mean, like, there's parts of the movie that's about loss, about love. I mean, overarching mostly about love and souls and how they transcend through the ages, how your soul existed since the beginning of time and will exist far after time is gone, and how you can redeem yourself. I mean, everything, like racism, everything's in it. It's crazy. And I think that to the film's detriment, the fact that they did pack all those things in there, none of those really landed as hard as a movie just about one of those things. If it was a movie just about one specific message they wanted you to take throughout the thing, I think it would have been a lot stronger. But I feel like it was a message. The message was, we want to show you everything, like the existence of life, why it exists, and here's all these things and why that they come into play. And I think that kind of diluted it a little bit, whereas you weren't sure what was going on at times. But the thing that I love the most about it is when it would get quick, when there'd be like quick shots between different timelines and stuff, and you could see the payoffs from one life to like one in the far future. And I mean, this probably sounds so confusing to review because it really is just a confusing movie. But there's glimmers of when you get it and you're like, that is really cool. It really is like a piece of art, or like a musical symphony, like a lot of people were saying, where it's not so much about your traditional movie-telling overarching story, but it's about using different cinematic techniques and actors in different ways, and just in an artistic way that you can hopefully appreciate. I know that you've didn't have as good of a reaction from it, and I do agree to some extent. I feel like sometimes it might have seemed very like self-indulgent and like preachy, I guess. But if you want to explain maybe more how you're
I did not like this movie one bit. I go to the movies. I appreciate when a film transcends into art and stuff like that. But I don't like a movie that is just made for its only purpose to kind of. A lot of people are saying they just made this to prove that it could be made. You were saying it covered everything. I wish it focused on a couple of things and, spent even 3 hours, that's fine, but hashing them out. It just some of the choices in this movie, it took me out of the film. There were points that were so drawn out and so bloody boring that I could not get behind this movie. And I really wasn't excited to see it, but I would have loved to love this movie. I just don't think that they achieved really what they were going for. If you said it, I didn't even, know if you were going to say it, but I think this movie is really about redemption. Redemption through the ages. You saw some characters who stayed either consistently bad, some who were, like Tom Hanks' character was good and bad, or characters, I guess I really should say. They were good and made choices that, were gray opposed to, black or white. Other characters.
Well, I don't want to interrupt you real quick, but I just watched the Nerds podcast from last week where the Wachowskis and the other director were on it talking about it. And they said, what is this movie about? And they said, well, it's about Tom Hanks, who is a bad guy, falls in love, and becomes a good guy and saves the human race. I mean, that's pretty much the through line of his story. But it's basically about, like you're saying, redemption. I think that kind of speaks to that redeeming part of it.
Yeah, and I think that that was his character. Then there were some choices of like the one futuristic, like Tom Hanks is on the island and Halle Berry's like the post-future kind of thing, and then just the way they spoke took me out. It's probably similar to the book. Again, didn't read the book, but I had trouble understanding some of the stuff that was going on, and just don't. You can make it different without having people struggle to just understand things. Some of the characters were really good. I think the acting was good. I appreciate what they were trying to attain with this movie. It just really was hard to sit through.
I think it could have been
an hour and 20 minutes into this movie. I thought it was close to over, and then I checked a clock, my phone, and I'm like, oh my god, we're only an hour and a couple of minutes into this movie. I appreciate the way it was shot. Adding music kind of as a through line too with it, and just different things. But he creates this symphony, the Cloud Atlas, and I thought that was going to have more of connecting the different stuff throughout the ages more. It took me out that some of the characters were playing different races too. It just didn't look right. It kind of looked like in the Unnatural Valley where
Yeah. I think that was the point though. I think you're supposed to recognize that was that soul.
I understand that, and I'm completely fine with that, but it didn't matter. The makeup took me out of the movie, and it made me feel uncomfortable. And if that's what they were going for, I think it was, but it's just not something that I enjoyed. Or, I'm kind of happy I can say I saw this movie because I feel like I got over a Saturday detention by seeing this. It's a life experience that it's good to have, but not one that I would ever want to repeat. I mean, I would never want to rewatch this
way
movie.
Shorter. I think that there were definitely parts where it was dry. That's why I said my favorite parts were when it was quick, and moving through, and there was a lot of progress. But it really
when kind of the same thing was happening in the different periods, and it was shot well and stuff like that. Now I'll read about this. I really don't want to watch this movie ever again. I'll read about stuff that I might have missed.
Yeah, because I think that stuff like you were saying, you wish that the symphony played a bigger part. I think it probably did. We just didn't pick up on it because so much happens, especially in those quick shots. You miss so many things,
and some of these things that they're trying to cover deserve their own movie. Racism, sexism, all these giant, messages that they're dealing with, they did not get the airtime that, something as important as that should have received. And it's bold to try to touch on everything. It's just, to me, it didn't touch on anything close to being enough of any one important message that...
It's a movie that throws you off your game because you're going into it with all this knowledge of what movies are, and then it completely isn't that at all. So I think that kind of throws you off, and it can be irritating for some. I think it definitely it's not your typical movie for sure.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
But I think maybe wait to check it out because it is long. Wait till it comes out on DVD so that you can be at home.
Yeah, I
use the
specifically did
bathroom.
not get a soda for this movie because
Yeah,
I
it was-
figured that,
It's rough, but
and this is one of the ones where if you miss a part, it could have played.
yeah,
big thing
if
in
you're
the end.
someone that likes artsy movies, and Rob does, but he really didn't like this. I think your traditional moviegoer is not going to enjoy this movie.
Yeah, I'd say
But-
definitely, I think, again, I will say I am happy that I saw it. I'm just not
You just didn't
happy thinking about seeing it.
Right. So that's Cloud Atlas. It's out now. Check it out, maybe.
Nah. So now is the time of the episode where we like to give our thanks. Chad, what are you thankful for today?
I'm going to thank a film that I love. It's Halloween. Tomorrow or today? Is it Wednesday? Is Halloween?
Today's
or-
Tuesday.
Well,
They're
today's
watching
Tuesday,
this.
but I don't. Halloween's either today or tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. And I love zombies. We love zombies on this show. But one of my favorite
As
zombie.
you'll see on Thursday.
Yes, as you will see, and this kind of feeds through to that. But one of my favorite zombie films is the new Dawn of the Dead, Zack Snyder.
Just watched that yesterday.
I mean,
It's
it
good.
is a remake, but it is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, despite
Built
the fact,
for Modern Family.
yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff in that film, and the zombies run, which, as you'll find out on Thursday, they do apparently in real life
Yeah.
run as well. But I don't know, it's just an enjoyable zombie movie, and we had this discussion the other day. Where would you go in the zombie apocalypse?
Mall.
The mall, because
Mall,
there's
perfect.
You got everything.
Yeah.
So check that out if you haven't seen it. It came out like 2001 or something.
And one of the best
Awesome.
uses of a song in a movie with the Johnny
Oh,
Cash
yeah.
song that's in it, so haunting and so good, and that is a great movie.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to generally just thank Halloween in general. My life has kind of my birthday is on October 27th, so throughout my life I've had Halloween themed birthday parties, whether it was going to haunted hay rides or having Halloween parties at the house. So Halloween has always had a special place in my heart. Also, who doesn't love free candy? It's the best.
True that.
We had the one person who handed out religious literature and stuff in our
Pencils.
neighborhood. My family
Pencils.
always gave out the giant big candy bars.
Oh, that's
so we were the
awesome.
popular stop for the local kids. So I've always loved Halloween, and now that we're older, I have nieces and nephews. We started this tradition last year where we do a haunted porch on their porch. Last year, my dad was dressed up as this crazy doctor guy, and I had this baby popping out my stomach, and it was just awesome. Hopefully, Hurricane Sandy doesn't prevent Halloween from happening this year, because we are doing a gothic haunted mansion theme this
nice.
year. So it's great because I think throughout life Halloween gives you different stuff. Candy as a kid, how great is that?
House parties. As a
College
adult.
house parties and just fun stuff like that, and then you get to see the kids in your life later on experience it like you did, and it's just a great holiday. So
Cool.
thank you, Halloween.
Cool. So we'll be back on Thursday with our look into the Run for Your Lives Zombie 5K. It's going to be an exciting episode, so
It
make
is.
sure you check back for that. But thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.